Welcome back to Unfiltered Trend.
Unfiltered
This is
Trends.
GB over here. Hey, my name is Elodie Boo.
Seb Green.
Yes, we are back again. We're trying to follow what Katt Williams is still talking about. We are so interested by this interview because it's so bloody explosive. He got more things to say. This man is unleashed. That's how they call it. So let's watch what he's got to say now. He's got a little bit more to say about Didi and Harvey Weinstein.
Check it out.
Shake it.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen.
Shit. I kind of get this one here.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, well, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah.
Oh, because
I was gonna ask you that.
because in 30 years I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
You will tell it.
no, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that. I value that. I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. And they'll just go out and they'll lie. The industry doesn't mess with Katt because he didn't show up for the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that no studio has ever lost money with me on the script. How? That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Rickeysmiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike. Because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing. I told them to go get the Prowler. I then told them to paint it purple. I told them don't have an actor playing a pimp. We could get an actual pimp archbishop.
I feel like it's ready to tell though.
He is definitely ready to lash out, and he has a gun and he's just spraying everybody. The thing is about Katt Williams is he says he was blackballed. Have you heard that he was blackballed?
No.
No, I haven't heard anything about it.
The one thing is,
Good.
we have to cut you off. I feel like because he's telling so much, and maybe he have more to tell as he says, we need to keep this guy safe because, we actually, he'd been talking about a lot of people.
Yeah. For me, I knew he was blackballed in a way because have you seen any movie with Katt Williams in the last 10 years? Not so much. The last movies that I've seen, I think he was in one of Eddie Murphy's movies and he was playing some kind of pimp or whatever. That's the type of roles he gets. But to be fair and honest, he's not really mainstream like Kevin Hart
before.
Now, back in the days, okay, he's not really a mainstream guy, but Kevin Hart is more pushed than him. Even Phase and Love is more pushed
Than himself,
Steve Harvey, I can say Steve Harvey is a bit of a hustler, so I can say Steve
He pushed
kind of
himself,
fights for his position. When it comes to Cedric the Entertainer, Cedric, who's a bigger man, but he's more family friendly, I will give that to Cedric. But he is more pushed. So to me, I agree with what he says. From those facts alone, I haven't seen any kind of project from him.
I feel like he knows something we don't. Well, maybe not that we don't, but I feel like he knows something esoteric to the point where he's saying 2024, it's up for all of them in terms of the other side. Yeah. So obviously we're talking about the list that came out as well that's exposing people that went to the island. So I think these things come hand in hand. I think I think what he's talking about and the list that has come out literally days after or before this interview came out, I think like they may not be connected, they may not be connected, more than like they're not. But like he's onto something. The 2024, we're moving into a new age as well of information.
They
And
might be
The
linked
truth,
though.
because
Yeah,
the
the
truth
truth,
is coming out slowly.
yeah.
They call it the age of Aquarius,
Yeah,
and the
Aquarius.
age of Aquarius apparently the truth come to light. I didn't know that.
It might be
great.
creative because like we had the DD thing not a long time ago. Then
I'm
we
so
had
happy.
the what is the name of the guy again? The one that for the list?
Oh,
Epstein? No.
Epstein?
Is Epstein or the other guy?
Epstein has the list of 200 names. Definitely, we know that. We know that Harvey Weinstein was caught
Harvey
years
Weinstein.
ago. We know that. We know that they're trying to put out Jamie Foxx as well in the mix. So
And now we have Katt Williams
But again,
having like more than
of Jamie
10
Foxx,
million.
that was all to do
Video.
with that law that they brought in America for a year.
it's not just that; it's just an allegation for now. So let's see what.
But did you say that you thought that law that they brought out in America for a year was linked to?
It was linked to obviously this list, but it's okay. We gotta talk about the list soon
Let's check
anyway.
it out.
Let's check more of the interview.
Actual pimp Archbishop Magic Don Juan to play. Like I did far too much work for somebody to come years later and try to tag along just for their own self-aggrandizement.
Why didn't Cube set the record straight? Terry Crews could have set the record straight. Mike Epps could have set the record straight. Why none of them set the record straight?
That's what you were supposed to ask him when he told you those lies that
But I
no
didn't
one's
know it
ever
was a
heard.
lie.
Right, but he's telling you something no one's ever heard of. Nobody has ever heard, oh, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon was in a movie and somebody said, y'all should switch roles. Like, this is a business.
But that's the thing, Kat. Normally when people will give you information, I'm thinking I'm hearing it for the first time and they're giving information no one else knows or have ever heard. So I'm taking them at face value.
These are like, this is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made... All lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club.
Would you ever agree with that? One thing I will say. Okay, let's see about Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey,
the homeless thing that he said.
do you think Steve Harvey can lie about his story?
Definitely. I think there's a whole bunch of lies.
Because he said 25 years ago, like, you know,
Yeah, for me,
he was already selling some show.
Yeah, he was
So it's
getting
not-
deals basically.
So it's not like it was he was selling, couldn't do anything, you know.
Especially if you get 3,000 a night or a show, you make a big money.
Yeah.
How would you be homeless with
Yeah.
3,000 a night?
Unless it's like by default and you're actually staying at someone else's house, but you're paying them, but technically you're homeless because you don't own a home. Maybe something like that. Who knows? Who knows?
Not
Maybe.
knowing a house is being homeless.
Well,
you need to stop that now.
living at someone else's house, you could potentially say you're homeless because you don't actually own a home and you're not
That's true.
renting a house either.
That's true.
If you're living at someone else's house, so potentially, yeah, cool, might not be lying, but who knows? You know, people like to sell themselves, and you know as well.
Story, right?
But also as well, yeah. To be fair, I did hear him say this as well. So, but for me, it was inspirational. So even okay, cool. Maybe he took the story, and he's inspired others. But what has he done with the message? He's done something positive with it. Cool. He might be lying, but what's the
You saw
what's-
the good side.
yeah, what's the negative? Like, it's not for his point of view. I get it because he's seen it as you taking my story and now you're using it to boost yourself up and make yourself look like this kind of person. But at the end of the day,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of entertainment people, they say like, "Oh, I've been homeless." We don't know that. You know, I'm not saying that all of them lying, but I feel like some of them just made up their story. You know,
That's very true. For me, what stood out is the fact that he was talking about Kevin, and is there a little hate or is there a little shade to it? Have you not seen that Kevin sell out like arenas or shows before? We kind of
have we? I can't say that I have seen.
Okay,
Kevin.
maybe, but me I've seen.
one thing is
yeah.
like, I will no offense, but I'm not really a fan of Kevin.
Yeah,
Of course,
Also.
I feel like Kevin is for everybody
I don't
because
feel like
he's more like a mainstream guy. But honestly,
but he's not funny,
that funny.
in terms of his lyrical or written content. He's funny in
he's
terms
not
of
that funny.
his image and how he portrays himself.
Yeah, for me it's more like he's laughable because he's tiny. Apart from that,
Yeah, that's it.
there's
I don't know. I don't
nothing
find it
to
funny.
it. His face is funny. That's all.
His characteristics.
Very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah.
But not the written content.
No,
I want to say the written stuff that he puts
he's
out.
all corny and ridiculous than funny. I feel bad saying that. Sometimes I find it funny though.
I don't know.
Because he's ridiculous and that's why I find it funny.
Oh,
But that's
funny,
it.
yeah.
But it's not funny like witty like Katt.
Okay,
Katt is
yeah.
definitely
different.
It's not a wit.
he's a great writer when it comes to his content.
He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
Do you think Kevin is a plant?
I mean, now he's put it that way, in terms of him coming into the industry and just blowing up.
And then poof,
Yeah.
Yeah. It would make sense.
look at me.
Yeah.
And for me, definitely it was weird because Kevin didn't even break at that time that he had his first sitcom. He didn't really break either, and he had a lead on a movie
It was
that
something.
was very kind of a classic to black people anyway. And I remember the first movie he had was also a lead, Paper Soldier. That's a movie, that's a ghetto movie. But like I said to you, Kevin, he definitely had a push. Somebody kind of positioned him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so.
So yeah.
So Kevin a plant?
Right.
This game.
We have to deal with that.
He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Because Shannon Sharp got to be a different person than that other person.
Absolutely.
And he always was. That doesn't change when I change teams. That remains the same. That's how a legacy is built.
So
all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get that?
I told him no. What y'all do?
Ooh,
That was
something else about
kind of
direct.
shocking in a way, because of the fact that you wouldn't expect Harvey Weinstein to have the gut to be so out with it.
Maybe exaggerating a bit about the way he said it, but I would definitely think that is right.
You gotta understand how these people think. They think they own everything. They can run. They run things. Yeah. So they don't care as long as they're not on camera. They don't care what they say in front of people. So I can definitely believe that.
And the thing is that he just say like they kind of block him also because he was talking about Black Boy. Sorry. So because he was talking about this, and now here look at what happened. So it might be true in the same time. Maybe exaggerating some way, but you know the shoe is here, I believe.
Yeah, for me it's more like when it comes to Harvey Weinstein, the power is so great, especially at the time.
Yeah.
That people were so scared to talk and even mention that he had just bad behaviors and very inappropriate conduct in a place of work. People were too scared to lose their career and lose the opportunities in Hollywood. So
and at that time they didn't have like the Me Too, you know.
Yeah, that saved those people, honestly.
So everyone was scared, nobody speak. So now
I can't believe at the time he had the gut. He could speak out. And that's why he's blackballed. So it kind of makes sense now.
Oh, what y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he has 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life. So no.
Okay. So
I think I don't know if it's any jealousy between themselves.
They're very competitive.
Yeah. You can see.
Everybody wants to be the top dog, and if you're not the top dog, bloody hell, you kind of, you're kind of stuck in that position of, okay, I want to be the best, and if I'm not the best, they're gonna shut me down, and I'm never gonna have a career again. So you kind of fight
I feel
for
like
that
they
position.
fight, against each other.
Definitely, there's hate and jealousy. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that it's interesting that you're actually seeing, getting more dimensions or seeing more dimensions of the relationship between Bernie Mac and the rest of them. And obviously Bernie's not here anymore. I feel like my man Katt Williams, he was gonna go in for Bernie just now, but he got interrupted for the next question. So that is something I wanted to hear more about, because as I said, I don't really know too much about the relationships between the comedians to even know that people are trying to steal other people's positions in movies. So that is all interesting.
That's unfortunate that he cut him on it, because like then he start asking about have you been ever in tour with this guy? So I'm like,
the reality is there was definitely competition between Bernie and Steve, but I think the only one who was in competition was Steve, because Bernie was winning and he never liked it. And I know Steve don't want to admit it today, but back then he was sour against Bernie, I mean. And Bernie, rest in peace, he was a legend. So he was unbeatable. And even at some point, Steve complained during a show that he was going after Bernie. Meanwhile, Bernie kind of burned the stage. Just like his name, he burned the stage. So Steve going after him, and he wasn't really prepared. He wasn't really as strong, and he felt it. And he admitted it. I've seen an interview where he admitted that he felt the heat.
That Bernie was given...
Bernie was too strong for him. Bernie's act was unbeatable. Like, all of them knew. That's why he kind of fought with Bernie for Bernie to be the last act. So he can go before Bernie. So Bernie can just tear it for him. That's really the backstory that I know anyway.
So no. Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Rickeysmiley has been playing the same old black woman forever.
When it comes to Cedric is hilarious. I mean, the story is hilarious. I don't think Cedric is hilarious at all. I don't find him funny as a comedian. I don't know about you people. What do you think about Cedric, the entertainer?
okay, but not. I don't really listen to him.
Exactly. So he was kind of on the money when it comes to Cedric, because Cedric doesn't have popularity on his side, and like his content is not funny, and clearly now he doesn't write. So it makes sense that he's not really an entertainer like he said himself. And also Faison Love is more like a movie star now.
Yeah, like more like an actor.
He's more like an actor.
I want to say.
I think he left the comedy side of things. So I don't know why he put Faison Love into this category anymore. For me, he's kind of out.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So you guys cool?
Yeah.
Black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Like, you gotta be doing karaoke around the country to make that work.
Right.
And he is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not gonna have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to juice than to get in the gym, but you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy.
Talk about how good you look.
What? No, there's too many comics out there that are putting their life on the line to tell these jokes, man.
Okay, let's get.
So. Yeah, definitely. That's not like the people who take shots.
Definitely.
We heard that. And I think he could say more. But just like, yeah.
Well, you guys, what do you think?
Well, I think I like the analogy what he uses. I think he uses it more than once. And he's a good person for analogies as well, because he says, you're going to take steroids, you're going to come to the gym and you're going to talk about how good you look. Like, when you're not even doing the work.
You're not doing the work. You're not
you get me, like, what are you doing? So I like that.
I think he's doing the analogy because for Shannon to also to understand his point of view. You know,
absolutely. It kind of makes sense to put it in this perspective. Well, you guys, I think that we watched the best part of the video. We can just wrap it up.
Yep.
And get to the next one.
Thank you again for watching us.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping with us.
Yeah, man. Have a blessed one.
All right. Take care of yourself.
See you, people.
See you on the other side.